So my story when it comes to 260 local is, I've always cared about the community, right? Like I've always cared about the community. Um, Even when I was making music and people thought that I was gonna make it in the music industry, I only wanted to keep $100,000 a year off of my music. You know, if I would have went like Michael, if I would have sold records like Thriller, right? Like let's say for instance that I had made it in the music industry and like every record that I came out with sold more albums than Thriller, right? I would only keep $100,000 a year, and the rest of that money would go back into the community to help make the community better. And because I believe that money is a necessity up to a point, and then after that, it's a tool to help increase the quality of life for other people. And if you are blessed to be a funnel, right? Meaning big up top, small on the bottom, where, big up top, you got all this money coming in, and then small on the bottom, where you can strategically reinvest that money back into the community, man, that's a great thing. I don't care about stuff. I don't care about having some big, expensive car. My favorite vehicle is a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Um, so like I don't care about having some foreign car that costs, $300,000. Man, that's not impressive to me. I don't care about that. I don't care about having some big old mansion. I don't care. That's not impressive to me. I don't care about that. I would rather live in the neighborhood and help the neighborhood thrive and help the people in the neighborhood thrive. You know what I'm saying? Like that, to help our children become more educated, to help our parents become more educated, to reinvest and start businesses in the community. So now we all have a sense of ownership and a sense of camaraderie and group dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's important to me. That's what I'm passionate about. I don't like Walmarts and Best Buys and all of these big name places that where people go and they work 40 hours a week and they still qualify for food stamps. That don't make no sense to me. Like that. And I'm not big on stuff like private jets and stuff like that. It don't impress me. Having a lot of trinkets and stuff like that, it don't impress me. A person's character is what truly impresses me. Are you kind? Are you thoughtful? Are you humble? Are you considerate? You know what I'm saying? Do you treat the janitor in your building like your best customer? You know what I'm saying? These are the things that are important to me. That's why with 260 Local, that's why we do community enrichment projects, right? And for those who don't know what community enrichment projects are, it's where we take the money that the money that 260 Local earns through its business members. We take that money and then we strategically put it back into the community in ways that we feel brings the most value to the community. Now, we still eating. Don't get me wrong. We not taking 100% of the money and putting it back in, right? Me saying that money's not important is not saying that I don't want to feel successful, that I don't want to be able to wake up in a nice home, drive a nice car, see them, you know what I'm saying, like my children are able, I'm taking good care of my children, I'm taking good care of my moms, you know what I'm saying, like that. Nah, that's not what those things are important as well, you know what I mean, like that. But it don't take a, we don't need a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm making. I don't need to be a whole, a 20 millionaire, a billionaire type of dude in order for me and mine to be straight. And so with that thought process, that allows me to be able to do things like Like I said, give money back to the community in ways that bring value to the community and increases other people's quality of life as well. You know, the thought of living on top of the mountain, you know what I'm saying? Like that and everybody is down below me, man. That's not, I don't care about that. That doesn't even sound appealing to me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather chop the mountain in half and bring everybody up and we all be on a higher plateau. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of thought that makes me smile. You know, not being around a whole lot of people and having everything while they ain't got nothing. Nah, man. I want everybody eating. I want everybody feeling good. I want everybody looking good. I want everybody to be able to enjoy this life that we have. And you know, what it takes, what I realize in life, you know, that when you're a leader, you have to be the one that facilitates making sure other people are able to achieve those things, because a lot of people don't even believe it's possible anymore. A lot of people they're comfortable in their misery. You know what I'm saying? Like they're comfortable in their misery. But the thing about being comfortable in your misery is you're miserable. Number 1. And number 2, the only reason why you become comfortable in it, or I'm not even gonna say, maybe comfortable is not the best word, but content is another word that I could put there. You become content in your misery because you no longer believe that anything else is going to happen. Like your dreams are gone. You know what I'm saying? Your goals are shot. And you've come to a point to where you're like, well, this is just the way it's going to be. This is how it's always going to be. So I might as well, get used to it. And that's where you become content in that. I don't have that same thought process. You know what I'm saying? So 260 local, uh, and these community enrichment projects, everything about 260 local is community focused, right? We help locally owned independent businesses in the community. That's all we work with is locally owned independent businesses, right? And when we take in that money, then we then put it back into the community in the form of community enrichment projects. So we're adding more value back to the community, right? What that does is it facilitates something called the local multiplier effect. And real quick, what the local multiplier effect is the more you're able to recycle and keep money in the community recycling, the more value that money has in the community. So if you have a dollar that cycles 10 times in the community without leaving, then that $1 has provided $10 worth of value, right? So you can take that and you can add that to any amount. So if it's $1,000 that was cycled 10 times, then that $1,000 just brought $10,000 worth of value to the community, right? If it was 10,000, then if it was $10,000, then recycled 10 times or cycled 10 times, then that brings $100,000 worth of value to the community. So these are the things that I'm talking about. And then when you take when that okay, so because I'm thinking too fast now. So with another thing about 260 local, man, is that because this is the way that I'm thinking, right? And I'm genuine with it, then now I'm thinking of the most creative ways to bring value to the community, right? That's how my mind works, and that's what I put that money towards, because that's why we're not a nonprofit. We just have a nonprofit mission. See what I'm saying? We're a for-profit company with a nonprofit mission, because being a for-profit company, we can do whatever we want with the profit that we make. We're not limited in what we can do like a nonprofit is. A nonprofit is limited to their mission statement, right? Like that, if they're getting donations for a particular mission statement, they can't step outside of that mission statement, or they'll mess around and lose their 501c whatever status, right? Like that with us, no, we're a for-profit company, so we take that money and we do whatever we want with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's, I mean, the list goes on, but some of the things that are important to me, one of them is courtesy of 260 local. That's a big one, where that's almost like buying scratch off tickets, right? And what I mean is that you go to the store, you buy scratch off tickets, you might win, you might not, right? So when you go to a locally owned independent business, you might get what you're buying for free, or you might not. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that we do know is you never have a chance on getting it if you don't buy from a locally owned independent business. So you might go to a local mechanic shop, and you like, yeah, man, I'm here to get some brakes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, that would be however much brakes cost. Like, let's say, I don't know, $500, right? It's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? That'd be $500, and then you go to pay for it, and they say, oh, it's only 250 for you, courtesy of 260 local. They covering half of it, or they like, you know what I'm saying? No, there's no cost for you today, right? Courtesy of 260 local, because we went in there and we paid retail, right? Like, courtesy of 260 local is where we take money that we get, profit that we earn, and then we'll go to whichever local businesses that we want at the time that we work with, and we'll go in there and we'll buy, um, we'll pay retail for products, right? So to keep it simple, right? Like, let's use a coffee shop. I'm always using that example. So I go into a local coffee shop and I got $500, right? And in this example, we'll say that a cup of coffee costs $5. So I go in there with $500 and I pay for 100 cups of coffee. Now I'm paying retail. So the business itself loses no money. In fact, they make the profit that they set out to make. They are good, right? And now they have 100 cups of coffee to give out to patrons, right? So now a person comes in and they have their $5. They order their cup of coffee. They got their $5 in their hand. And when they go to pay for it, the barista tells them, "Oh no, your cup. This is free, courtesy of 260 local." Like that, right? And they like, "Oh, cool." And they like, "Can I interest you in a pastry?" You know what I'm saying? To go with your coffee, because the customer has already psychologically spent that $5. So to be able to buy a pastry to go with their coffee for $2.50, $3, that's a very enticing offer, given the fact that they already had it in their mind that they was gonna spend that $5 anyway. Right? So what happens is the customer, they get their cup of coffee, what they initially came in there for. They have an additional pastry to enjoy with it, one that they may have been wanting to try, but has never gotten around to it, or it might have been their favorite. You know what I'm saying? Either way it go, they have something extra to enjoy with their coffee, and they still walk up out of there with $2 or $3 in their pocket. Right? The business, they make retail on the coffee and they make an additional sale. That's a win-win right there. Those are big wins for both parties. And for 260 local, we win because we were the ones that were the ones who were able to facilitate those gains for the business and the customer. And the customer is now more likely to come to 260 local to buy from locally owned and other locally owned independent businesses in the area. That's what this is about with me. That type of thing right there is what makes me smile. That to me is so much more enjoyable than riding around in some expensive car and letting people see me in some expensive car. You see what I'm saying? If I'm gonna spend money on something, or invest money into something, I would rather invest it into that. Like investing it back into the community in that way. Another one is gigs, right? like that, 260 local gigs. And what that is residents in the 260 area code, right? The 12 counties that make up the 260 area code and all the cities, towns, and communities in those 12 counties. Um, they can go when they go to the 260 local platform, right? There are gigs there. Gigs are where you can share, you can comment and share on local business social media posts, right? So like you can earn $1 for sharing a post. That's all you do. You're sharing a post from a locally owned business onto your social media feed, right? Um, and you earn $1 from that. So you share 20 posts, that's $20. You share 100 posts, that's $100, right? And businesses, they can they can they do them at their leisure, right? Like that. So some businesses will be doing it, some businesses won't. We'll take it upon ourselves in a lot of cases to do it for businesses like that. Like we'll just as like a thank you to where we're like, hey man, we're gonna do a gig, we're gonna do a gig campaign for you to where courtesy of 260 local, right? Like that. We're gonna take $100 and put a gig up for you, get you 50, 100 shares, something like that for this particular post or for these two or three different posts, however it goes out. But the whole point is to help our local business, our locally owned business community to grow and thrive, and to help our residents have better experiences with our local community and use and facilitate the growth, our growth as a unit. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so this is the story, for why I'm doing it, right? Because it's what I'm passionate about. I really don't know at what point in time like it hit, but I know it's always been there, right? All the way back from when I was making music, and I said that the only thing that I wanted to keep from my music was $100,000 a year, and the rest of the money I would put into the community, to help build the community and help make other people's lives better as well. Um, because I felt that it would have been a significant blessing for me to just be able to make music doing what I love to do, you know? Oh, wait, excuse me. I said make music to where I can make money doing what I love to do. Um, yeah. So that's my story,